Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Nathan Rogers, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Sergeant Renee Boss. Today, we remember and pay tribute to Warrant Officer Harold Eric Brock. This evening, we warmly welcome, representing the Returned and Services League of Australia, ACT branch, Mr. Patrick Delgaitis, and representing the Air Force Association, Wing Commander Dr. Mary Ann Whiting, retired. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial, students on behalf of Gympie South State School, visiting from Southside, Queensland, and students on behalf of Fairholme College, visiting from Toowoomba, Queensland. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. Visitors who are able to do so, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved. And here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Warrant Officer Harold Eric Brock. Born in Hobart on the 9th of August 1923, Harold was the son of Harold James Brock and Jean Macbeth Brock of Glenora in Tasmania. As a boy, Harold attended Launceston Church Grammar School, where he was a member of the cadets. After finishing high school, Brock worked on the family farm, Meadowbank, and studied engineering at the University of Tasmania. In April 1942, aged 18, Brock volunteered for service in the Royal Australian Air Force. He started training at the No. 1 Initial Training School at Summers in Victoria and selected to train as a navigator. Brock then attended No. 2 Wireless Air Gunners School at Parkes in New South Wales. He was then posted to No. 2 Air Observers School at Mount Gambier, and then No. 2 Bombing and Air Gunnery School at Port Pirie, both in South Australia. In November 1943, Brock embarked for overseas service, arriving in Britain the following month. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, he was one of almost 27,500 RAF pilots, navigators, bomb aimers, wireless operators, and air gunners, who throughout the course of the war joined the British and Commonwealth squadrons based in Britain. After arriving in Britain, Brock was assigned to the Royal Air Force Coastal Command. He teamed up with a pilot at No. 9 Operational Training Unit, where they learned to fly the Bristol Beaufighter aircraft. In April 1944, Brock was assigned to No. 455 Squadron, Royal Australian Air Force, based at RAF Langham in Norfolk. No. 455 was a maritime strike squadron. It undertook patrols across the English Channel and the North Sea to intercept and attack German naval vessels and merchant shipping. On the 10th of August 1944, just one day after his 21st birthday, Harold Brock and his pilot, Warrant Officer Bill Jones, were killed when their Beaufighter was shot down during an attack on German shipping in the North Sea. Brock's body was washed ashore and was buried in the local cemetery, Schipperuch, island off the north coast of Germany. He was later reinterred in the British and Commonwealth War Cemetery at Hanover, Germany. In what must have been a crushing blow to their mother, his older brother Henry, who followed Harold into the Air Force a few months after Harold had enlisted, was also killed in action 5 months after Harold's loss. Henry had qualified as a pilot and had also joined No. 455 Squadron, and Henry Brock was killed after bailing out of his Beaufighter over the coast of Scotland in February 1945 as a gust of wind blew his parachute out to sea. His body was found months later, washed ashore in Denmark, where he was buried in a local village churchyard. Back home in Australia, the Brock brothers are remembered at their former school in Launceston, where the Brock Memorial Library was dedicated in their memory in 1953. The names of Harold and his brother Henry are listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, amongst almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. Harold's photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Warrant Officer Harold Eric Brock, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.